So the 1.5 stream for the next update to Genshin was a few days ago, and some community members have uh, compiled a list of the summary of the update. So I'm joined here again with my co-host Rory. Say hello.
Hello. Hello, hello.
And we'll just kind of be going through this and giving our thoughts on what's coming up next for the game. So the big the big announcement, of course, is the two new characters. So first up on our list is Eula, a brand new character, never seen before. Nobody really saw this coming at all.
Yeah, she came out of left field a bit.
Yeah, really. An ice claymore. Wow. Anyways, yes. So we have officially had our reveal of Eula, who is a 5-star cryo claymore from Mondstadt. And what are your first impressions?
She seems quite interesting. She's got the Favonius style of um, using a claymore, which means she'll probably be similar in kind of attack pattern and stuff to Noelle in a way. That's what that would imply, at least.
Yeah,
Um, from looking at her skills and kind of like self-applying buffs that she can do, she seems to be very much an assault character.
we'll get into the
And,
specifics
yeah.
later, but as far as first impressions, I like the design. It's definitely very like cryo-y, a little on the nose,
Yeah, the
perhaps,
game.
but I certainly am not complaining.
Yeah, the game certainly does make it fairly clear what element they are based on either color
Yeah,
scheme or just you know.
yeah. So I like the design a lot, and getting into her actual skills, at least like the meat of it. Her normal attack's pretty basic. It's just there's nothing really fancy about it. It's just hit things.
Hit things with a big
Um,
sword.
her E ability, um, this is pretty. It's pretty. It's not simple like some other characters, which is okay. So when she uses it, she gains a stack of Grimheart, which you can get up to 2 of, and like Rory was saying before, it increases her resistance to interruption and increases her defense as well. And then she can spend those to deal a very powerful cryo attack, which
Yeah,
lowers the opponent's resistances.
yeah.
So
So
that's
the simple press is to gain Grim Hearts, and you can stack them up to 2 times, which I assume means if you hit 2 opponents, then you will get up to the maximum of the 2 Grim Hearts. Maybe, I don't know. It says every 0.3 seconds, so maybe you'll have to do it multiple times.
okay. So her
And then
press,
if
the
you hold
press
the
cooldown is 4 seconds, and they last for 18 seconds. Okay, so that's easy. So I think you do have to
yeah,
press it twice to get it twice. I don't think it's like Sinyan where like you hit multiple enemies to get more of them. So I
yeah,
think it's just
it's
hitting it twice and then you can spend it.
I suppose, yeah. And
Uh,
the Heldy is just you spend them to do lots
mm-hmm.
of damage, as you said.
And then her ultimate ability, Glacial Illumination, uh, brandishes her great sword, dealing cryo damage to nearby opponents, and creates a lightfall sword that follows her around for 5 seconds. It buffs her attacks and stuff, and then when it ends, it kind of explodes. So it's a pretty fancy skill, and seems to be pretty straightforward in its use.
It's interesting that the end of the Q deals physical damage rather than cryo damage when the sword explodes.
Yeah,
It's interesting, but
yeah.
not
Usually most of those deal elemental damage.
you'd think. Yeah, I mean
Hmm.
the
She
I don't
seems
know
to be
what it's
very much
called.
a physical-based character, which I think one of the
I
artifact
mean,
sets would be very good on her then.
yeah, in general, Claymore characters tend to be more focused towards, well, with some exceptions, I suppose, but they seem to be more focused towards the hitting rather than the element.
Yeah,
I'd say like Chongyun
but
might
even
be a
among like
slight
abilities,
exception,
like you
but
you don't really see that a lot. Or at least we
mm,
haven't so far. Her talents, her passives, that is. Um, looking at this, it's just like if 2 stacks of Grimheart are consumed upon unleashing the held, another Lightfall Sword is created that explodes. So basically, you do more damage. And then the second one, when you use her ultimate ability, you gain a stack of Grimheart. And then her constellations, which nobody but like millionaires will ever get, seem to just basically be things to make her be able to use her skills more often and deal more damage with them.
It's basically the usual set. The first one buffs Grimheart physical damage when you have them. The second one decreases the cooldown. Third one levels up the skill. What's the fourth one? Increased damage when enemies are already injured, so below 50% health.
The obstinacy of one's inferiors. That's a hell of a constellation name.
It is, isn't it? The next one obviously levels up the Q by 3. That's nothing surprising. That's basically everyone's 3 and 5 constellation. And the last one, what does it say? 50% chance of additional Lightfall swords. And
yeah, basically all of
energy.
her constellations basically just feed into that loop of you're gonna want to be like hitting E twice and then holding it to unleash. And
she seems, and just as a character in general, she seems to be from a kind of, she's from a rich family, and I don't know whether that will translate through to her being, stereotypically rich.
Haughty, I don't know, maybe.
Rich knight type character, the kind of snobby type thing, or if she's the kind of rebel. It always falls into the 2 categories. Are they the rebel that left the wealth to go and adventure, or are they just a snobby knight?
I don't think it's the former based on her attire, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's move on to Yanfei then, our lawyer.
Yeah, an interesting one, a lawyer. Not something I saw coming, to be honest. A lawyer in that world.
In Leeway, the city of contracts, no lawyers.
Yeah, but, I mean, the way they've dealt with it in the past is just one of the Ling Jing shows up and just stands there menacingly,
They're
and then
all
everyone
lawyers.
folds.
That's the secret.
They're all lawyers.
I like her design. I think a little more than Eula, actually. It's very.
It's a fancy hat.
Yeah,
I do like the hat. Stylish.
Yeah, I know that there's like a lot of people who will like this character, and I like the scarf that she has with like the red and black circle thing.
I thought there would be a non 5-star pyro mage coming, because up until now we've only had Klee, and if you don't have a 4-star variant,
an actual pyro mage, unless you
the
Borderlands thing where explosion is an element.
Yeah,
because Klee doesn't throw fire as much as she just throws bombs.
Yeah, she's not really a pyro mage as much as she just summons pre-made explosives that she just keeps somewhere.
Yeah, and because explosives burn.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought one of these would be coming soon, and I didn't realize it would be quite so soon. But it's nice to have. So
getting into her talents, she is very similar to Ningguang in how you're gonna want to use her based on what I've read. So her normal attack shoots a fireball that deals pyro damage, and when they hit, they grant things called Scarlet Seals, which you can have up to 3 of. And then when you hold a charged attack, you deal extra damage. So basically the exact same way that you would use Ningguang. Moving on to her E ability. It summons Blistering Flames that deal AoE pyro damage. An opponent hit by them will grant Scarlet Steel. So basically, you would start, I guess, with this ability. Hit him with a charged attack, and then attack normally until you have that up again. And it's basically just, use this to get an instant full charge. It's just, jump into the middle, hit your E, immediate full stack, and just blast them with a heavy, and then, continue until dead, essentially. Yeah. Hilariously, the description alludes to her attacking with the terms and conditions. So I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but sure. I think it's just a lawyer joke, to be honest. I think it is as well. As it says, the Ministry of Civil Affairs can't change the laws of nature. The 14-page Apple terms and conditions. She just throws at someone and it buries them.
Hey man, it probably burn really well.
Probably. Done deal, which is a funny name again for an alt. It's basically just a lot of pyro damage, and then you get Scarlet Shields seals again, and
And
you
it
deal even
also
more
applies
damage. So
brilliance.
straightforward, but
Yeah, it also applies the brilliance effect,
yeah.
which is an interesting one. It grants you Scarlet Seals at fixed intervals, so it just constantly charges your Scarlet Seals, and it also increases the damage dealt by charge attack. So essentially, it gives you the charge attack and the ammo to use charge attacks properly for a period of time.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually say how long, I don't think. Yeah, it doesn't. But for a period of time after using your ultimate, you are stronger using charge attacks.
And then looking at her passive talents, it's just more damage when you attack. Her constellations are more or less the same as well. The only two ones probably to point out are Supreme Amnesty, which grants the shield, which that's pretty neat. And
That's
then the
the
final,
fourth one,
Mhm.
isn't it? Yeah, fourth one.
And then
So
the
it will
sixth
take you a while to get to it.
yeah, but then the sixth constellation, you can get another Scarlet Seal, so more damage.
Yeah. So when done, deal is used, creates a shield that absorbs up to 48% of her maximum HP. 45%, sorry. So I assume that means the shield has 45% of your health as its hit points, rather than it absorbs your
Yes.
health. Yeah, that would. The shield absorbs pyro damage 250% more effectively.
Mm-hmm.
That is okay. So pyro does no damage to a pyro shield. That makes sense.
Yeah, so Eula and Yanfei, pretty cool characters all around. We'll move on to the next part, which is player housing, which I know a lot of people have been really excited for. So what do you think about this? That we're probably gonna get our own houses?
I like the idea. It'll be nice to have somewhere that you can call your own, quote unquote, in Tevat. It's kind of it, not quite, but also is in Tevat.
Yeah, Madam
It'll
Ping
be
Story Quest 1.
yeah that
The
Madam Ping
MVP
when
of the Liyue finale.
yeah 5-star in every element, Madam Ping. Let's
Yes.
go. But yeah, it's so. In case you haven't seen already, it's essentially like the Madam Ping domain that you have to do in one of the Liyue quests. I've forgotten which one. You seem to just get your own teapot, and inside of this teapot is one of 3 themed worlds that you can acquire, and you can build your house within that. And it seems to be one of the Sky Domain things from the Adepti homes with the light bridges, some sort of beachside location with palm trees, and then the kind of like the stone forest type area. So those seem to be the 3 options you'll be able to pick from, although I assume you'll have to unlock. You will start with one of them and have to unlock others, I would imagine.
We'll have to see. So it's called the Serenity Pot. Haha, funny. You get a like bird thing assistant inside, which
It's Tubby.
seems to be the main way that you will interact with furnishing and decorating your house. So it's in its own tea kettle, which then, of course, naturally raises the question if you can have Inception tea kettles.
God.
It has a trust meter, which is interesting. So I would assume that, like, as you buy things and do things with it, you'll get more trust, which would probably let you buy more things for your house.
I would imagine so.
And even when you're in the overworld, he will visit you. Or actually, no. This looks like it's actually in the teapot here. And you can buy things from him for like a limited time.
Seem to be 2 different characters. The one that you furnish the house with is called Tubby. The one that visits you with special offices is called Chubby.
Tubby's
So
blue
I think
and
that's
Chubby's brown.
I don't know if what relation they have to each other, but essentially Chubby seems to be the guy who just rolls up with like a leaflet with special offers.
It is. He's the salesman guy from Resident Evil with the coat.
And interestingly, it says don't forget to check your friends' houses as well. I don't know if that means sometimes you'll just find Chubby at your mate's house rather than in your own one to like
I would
get special
assume
deals.
so, and then you can get like special things from there.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Maybe that's how they're going to make you have friends, which is always the game does seem to like pushing people together, which is cool.
Yeah, looking at this one picture of Chubby, you can actually kind of see like a house in the background with like a courtyard and everything. So that's really neat. Moving on to the shop itself, from this little preview at least, you use a special currency, which is some sort of silver coin. And you can buy, I would guess, like furniture and stuff, but at least here, there's 3 pets you can buy, and then what appears to be pieces of landscape. So I guess you can actually customize like the actual ground and stuff, which is pretty neat. I would not have expected that. I would just think like, oh, you get a flat plot or like a fixed one, and you can just put stuff on it. But you seem to have a lot of
Yeah, and I
actual
imagine
control.
you'll be able to craft certain things as well because you seem to be able to buy fabric,
Yeah.
which I imagine would be a crafting material for furnishings, I don't know, like curtains or something, or carpets, I would imagine.
Yeah, so we can talk a little
Um,
bit about this part of the shop. There's
yeah, there are tabs there as well, so you
yeah,
can seem to
so
directly buy. Oh yeah, furnishings and furnishing blueprints. So you can either buy pre-made ones or buy blueprints to make your own. By the looks of it,
so there's
which is
Realm
pretty cool.
Treasures, which seems to be a generic shop, which we'll talk about in a minute. The furnishings, which is pretty self-explanatory, and then blueprints, which also I would assume is pretty self-explanatory. And we can see at the bottom that they are limited time only each, so I would guess that they just cycle in and out. Talking about the actual shop now, the Realm Treasures shop. Fabric, I would guess, is a material. In fact, yes, the description actually says that it's used for making furnishings.
Yeah, I would
Um,
assume you use that in the blueprints that you can purchase
mhm.
in the if you look on the left.
There's some pretty standard stuff like the XP books, the weapon enhancements, Mora. But the new, I guess, items to talk about are the Sanctifying Essence and Sanctifying Unction. I hope that's right.
That is how you say it, yes.
I would wager that it's used in your house stuff in some way. And then Transient Resin, which, if I recall, is resin that you can use and it will expire after a time, I guess, if you don't use it.
I
And
believe
it's
so.
quite expensive. So either you're not supposed to use these often, or you get these silver coins quite often.
Yeah, and you only get one of them, so assumedly every time the shop refreshes, there'll only be one available, if
Yes.
at all. So
Either
it's something
way,
you.
it does make me feel good that this probably won't be like a pay to use type thing. While you probably will be able to buy with real money, as you can with most everything in this game, it seems that you'll be able to acquire them through actual gameplay fairly easily enough because of all this stuff. So we'll have to see what the full form of housing takes, but I think it'll be quite good.